Hey, Joey Starr here for another fun-filled episode of Star Rock. With this episode, I'm going to try something a little bit different. Something came up a few hours ago, and I decided maybe about an hour after that it might be good for this channel. And since my time to prepare is rather short, I figured I'd wing it and see where it takes us. Cool? So I received a phone call from my great friend of many years, Billy. Besides being a longtime friend, Billy's also been my drummer in at least, I want to say 6 or 7 projects, including our first project together, which was called Skeptic System, which to this day is still my favorite past band. Billy's starting a weekly open mic night over at the VFW in Wurtsboro, starting tomorrow night. I just figured he was giving me a call just to remind me in case I was available and wanted to show up. But in addition to the reminder, he also asked me to fill in on vocals because of some last minute changes with the house band. He gave me 5 of the songs that they've been working on to prepare for tomorrow's premiere of the open mic night. And truth be told, out of the 5, I really only know 1 of the songs. So I really had to cram between now and then. It's actually pretty normal for active professional musicians to be acquired into situations like this. Even if you have a good, steady gig, you still help those from your inner circle, and even some of those outside of your circle, if you can. It's all part of growing your musical network, maintaining your existing relationships, strengthening your reputation in the music biz, especially among your fellow musicians, sharpening your skills by jamming with different people that bring out different aspects of your abilities. And damn it, it's just freaking fun. It's fun to do stuff like that. Just kind of go out there, blow off some steam, have an audience to perform in front of outside of your normal music activities. It's a blast because there's really no pressure. It's an open mic, so it's not as much pressure as filling in on a actual show somewhere, because most of the people going up, they're just kind of winging it too, or they're just kind of coming together. It's just a nice, relaxed atmosphere. You go in, you play some music, you might do great, you might not. Think of it as kind of the musicians' karaoke in a way. And don't get me wrong, I love my regular karaoke. I get different things from karaoke than I do from performing with a band in front of people. So the open mic is kind of the in-between. It's in between having your own band and singing karaoke. Great way to meet new people, both musician and non-musician. Great way to flex your muscles and just have a great time. It's my pleasure to help out my friend. I've actually been getting requests for topics like this. So this video will focus on how I prepare for a fill-in gig with less than 30 hours notice. I've already covered hydration and short-term nutrition in my video about preparing for rehearsal each week. I'm not going to bore you by repeating all that here, but those principles apply. The good news in this case, I did have rehearsal yesterday, so my body was already kind of in that whole mode, already using those habits. So really all I have to do is continue what I've been doing for the last few days, preparing for rehearsal to stay prepared for tomorrow night's open mic. So now, here's what I do. I have my 5 songs. I already told you, the one song I know actually pretty well. I used to play it when I was in Stardog back in Seattle. The other 4 songs, the good news is they're not completely new to me. They're songs, pretty much everyone's heard them on the radio and stuff, so I have an idea what they should sound like. Now here's the thing, just to kind of continue that whole comparison to karaoke versus open mic, is that I've seen this happen in open mics too. More so karaoke, but I've definitely seen in open mics where you go up there, you meet up with some people, say, hey, we're gonna play these songs, and you're like, oh yeah, I know that song, but in reality, all you really know is the hook of the song or the chorus, and you go in arrogant even, just confident like, yeah, I know this song, and then you get to the verses and it's already kind of bumpy, even if you have the words in front of you, and you get to a part of the song like the bridge, or some kind of segue into the guitar solo, or maybe the final section of the song where things are done differently and you choke because you're like, oh, what do I do here? So this is why I try to put some preparation in, right? I mean, the whole reason why he told me this list, because he knows that from years of experience of being in bands with me, he knows that I'm going to prepare best I can. He knows that he can rely on me. True to form, that's what I'm going to do. I don't have a lot of time to get this stuff together, but I have a drunken karaoke singer's idea worth of these songs. I know the choruses, I kind of know what they sound like. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find these songs and start listening to see how much work do I need to actually put into these songs. Okay, so out of these 4 songs, so the first one he gave me, I haven't heard it a ton of times, but the song's been around forever. I definitely know the chorus. I mean, everybody knows this chorus. The next song I've heard more than that previous song. It was a pretty popular song in the, I want to say the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. That one I feel is probably going to be the most work. Not not only because I kind of remember that there's more parts to the song than the other songs on here, but also out of these songs here, this is probably the best singer that I'm gonna have to emulate. And he's one of those singers where he sounds like what he's doing is really simple until you have to actually learn what he's doing. That's me showing respect to the original singer on this. Next song on the list, I know it in terms of I heard it on the radio like way more times than I ever wanted to. It's an okay song. I'm not really into the band, but it's catchy enough. There's probably not a lot to it structurally, but it's probably the song I'm least familiar with out of the four that I have to really focus on. I got a feeling that I just gotta figure out where the little changes are, and that'll probably be it. And the fourth of the four songs I really gotta focus on. Years ago, when I used to work at the local college here, my boss had put together a quick one-off band to just play it was some annual get-together they were having, and he always picked out musicians that were also working at the college besides him to go ahead and just play a small set. I don't think even 10 songs. But one of the things he was happy about in hiring me, I'd known him for years before I ever worked with him, but one of the things he was excited about when working with me is that at the time I was known to be a bass player. I could sing some backup and some lead singing. He's like, oh, that's great. When we have our annual, whatever they call that, little get-together, you can play bass for us. That would be great. So yeah, this song here, I actually had to learn for that, so never had to sing it before. Had to play it on bass, but it was long enough ago that I definitely need to review it, and I have a feeling that one doesn't have a lot of work to do either. So that's the good news. Out of the four, I have two that probably need more than just a little bit of attention, but I also have two that I could probably just kind of review a couple of times, have the words available, and I should be able to just knock them out. In situations like this, YouTube is very much your friend, and I'm not saying that as an endorsement because this is on a YouTube channel. I'm saying it because it's the reality. That's what I do. I can't think of one centralized spot for me that I'm gonna have the easiest time going in, finding the songs I need, and finding different versions. I can find a live version in case there's something I want to figure out, or something I couldn't hear as clearly in the studio version of the song. And also, there's a pretty good chance that there's a backtrack for it or a karaoke version of the song. So in case I want to kind of practice it without having the vocals there as a crutch, I can go ahead and do that all from the same webpage. I just go in, I do it, really easy search engine. I don't have to tell you guys, if you're watching this, you already know YouTube. I don't have to sell it to you, so you know what I'm talking about here. Now I'm going to go ahead and find my songs. Usually what I do first is, again, I'm going to take these four songs. I'm just going to listen to them once each without any other thing. Just going to focus on hearing them. My intention is always just listen to them once and then listen to them again to take notes, but being that I'm a little bit cramped for time here and being that I'm actually kind of excited about doing this, I think I'm going to take notes as I go here because, again, none of these songs are unfamiliar. I just need to kind of refresh what I know and add to what I know. So I'm going to go ahead and look these songs up, and then when I get to the next step, I'll let you know what's going on. Good morning. So back at it again. Last night I was on YouTube, of course, and I found versions of the songs that I liked, and I added them to a playlist that this way I can have them all together instead of jumping all around searching for them again, obviously. Of course, I listened to it a few times, took a couple of hand notes just about complexities and what kind of things I want to look for, and based on that, my predictions were correct. Out of the four songs I don't really know, two of them are going to be pretty easy to kind of follow through. Like one is pretty much, it's straight same thing over and over. Except for a little tweak at the end. And the other one, same deal. Actually, even simpler than that one. But the two that I was suspicious is going to take more work. Again, as predicted, one of them is going to need a bit of work, and one of them is going to need even more work because it's a more complex song. The song I told you where the vocals are a little bit tougher, and that the vocal line's a little more complex as far as what kind of changes goes on, what happens. The second time you hit the chorus, the ending of it's different, then there's a special bridge before the solo, and there's a bridge after the solo, which leads to a chorus, but after the solo, the chorus hits the second time, it gets extended out a certain way, and then there's a unique little different ending, like an exiting vocal line. That's actually probably going to be the hardest part for me to remember because I don't know the song well enough. I tried to listen to it a few times already, of course, last night and this morning, just to get a kind of feel for what the songs are like. Like, I'm a little more comfortable now than I would have been had I gone in completely dry. Probably would have made an ass of myself. So now I'm working with lyrics. It's obviously, with the amount of time left, memorization is definitely off the table. Being realistic, obviously I'm going to have to go be there with a music stand. I'm going to have the lyrics kind of laid out somewhere in front of me that I can read it and sing along, but I still need to learn the songs well enough so that looking at the lyrics actually helps me perform the song correctly, because you can have all the words in the world in front of you, but if you don't know how those words line up to what's being played by the band, you can have yourself a hot mess there, right? At this step, I've already gone ahead and looked up lyrics for all these songs. I've saved them as Word documents on my computer. The step I'm going to take now is, for each one of the songs, I'm going to play the YouTube on one screen and look at the lyrics on the other to follow along. Usually the first time I do that, I have to play the song a couple of times because there's going to be parts where I either want to fix it or separate it so I know here's the verse, here's where the hook of the song is, this is where that special bridge is. Usually I'll go through at least once and just kind of separate those out, space them out so they look accordingly. I also want to make sure that in the document that the font is large enough so that when I'm up on screen in a dark bar or whatever on stage, I'm all like, what does that say? No, they're gonna be large enough so I can just kind of look, and I've gotten pretty good over the years of kind of following lyrics where the lyrics are kind of right in front of me, like right about here-ish, but maybe below eye line, and I can just kind of glance down quick and just read as I sing. To the audience member, unless they're really staring me down or they have an angle where they can see what's going on, they don't even realize that I have lyrics in front of me, or they do, but it almost appears as if the lyrics are there as a safety net, not so much that depending on it. And to some degree that's true, because usually the choruses, I know them, so if anything, I just look for that empty spot. It's a reminder of what the words are going to be. Again, run through one time, see if what's on what I downloaded lyric-wise makes sense, what's there, space them out so that I can kind of distinct, here's the chorus, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes with lyrics online, you're going to get extra stuff because just remember that, especially if the song was a single, there might be an edit of it, there might be extended versions, so the lyrics that you download may not necessarily match up with the version of the song that you're going to perform. And here's the other thing, I've not jammed with these guys once, not even once. My first time is going to be right there on stage at crunch time. That's the nature of a filling gig. If you're lucky, you get one rehearsal in. Obviously with 30 hours notice, it's not going to happen. It was like, even if they were rehearsing last night, I wouldn't have had enough information to even go there. Like, I would have held them up if anything. So they're probably going to be pretty well prepared. I'm not as well prepared, but hopefully I'll be able to find that happy medium where it's just a fun night. After that initial step, with the run through of the lyrics, I'd listen again, I go through, and if there's any special notes I need to make, particularly on like choruses that end differently or verses that maybe are phrased differently by the singer, I may make little notes like sing this note higher, or sing. I have my own little way of notating that to myself, because I mean, if I write out the whole words, yeah, this, you got to sing higher on this bar, but then lower on this, it's too much to put on the page. I mean, the idea is, when possible, to make the lyric sheet, if you can, you want to make it one sheet, large enough that you can see it, but still fit on a sheet. If you're going to fit it on two sheets, I try to break it up between, like if there's an interlude, like a guitar solo, usually in rock music and blues, there's usually a guitar solo, and that's the interlude between big chunks of words. I try to put the page breaks so that I don't have to do this in the middle of a verse. No, the solo's coming on, move the page over, or I have open side by side on my music stand because it's wide enough to do that. Point is, I don't have to find myself in this amount of time. I can find it in this amount of time because there's this guitar solo playing. When the guitarist comes off of that solo, boom, I'm ready to continue on cue, hopefully. So that's where these notes come in, and maybe if there's a demand, if you're interested, maybe I'll film a separate video going in depth about my style of notation to make myself notes. It's touched upon slightly on my video about how to quickly memorize lyrics. I mentioned notation, but I didn't really go into details, much like now, because it's not really the scope of the video. The scope of the video is the overall preparation process for filling in a short amount of time playing the band. It's not yours. I want to go ahead and do that because we're going on tonight. I need to make these. You don't need to watch me do it. I mean, that's boring. And I'll come back after that step is done and show you what's next. All right, so gone over the songs many times, wrote up my notes, went over it again, refined my notes, all this stuff on the computer. Printed it out. I tend to, after printing it out, when I'm just about ready to go, usually what I'll do is, and I'm going to do it right after this, I'm all ready to go. I just going to run through each song one more time with the lyric sheets in front of me. This is when I make note, just in case, because sometimes you get up there and you think and you're just like, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'll handwrite a quick note saying the guitar solo is this many measures, or it's this many measures before the words start, or any spot that has instrumental interlude, whether it's 2 measures, 4 measures, whatever, 10 minutes, whatever it is. I write it down just so that it's there. I kind of already know from going over the songs, but it's just a reminder, because sometimes you're comfortable practicing at home, you get up there in front of everybody and somebody maybe doesn't play quite right, quite like what you've been listening to. It might throw you off, but if you're sitting there counting the beats, then you should more or less fall where you're supposed to fall. I mean, that's the way a jam works. And if it doesn't, then you kind of rely on your experience of performing and your knowledge of the song to help you find that spot where they're at and then get back together. That's the way it works. and that's the way it's gonna work tonight. So, so I'm gonna go over these songs again, and then I'm gonna head down to Wurtsboro, get my jam on, baby.
Oh my god, there's like chickens and everything. Oh my god. I don't want to run you guys over. You guys lost?
Alright, so I just came back from the open mic. Unfortunately, things were a little, I don't want to say chaotic, but just not conducive for me to have filmed any segments of me jamming with the band. But just a quick recap though. The singer that they weren't sure was going to show up, that I was preparing those songs for, he did actually show up, but I did end up singing 2 of those songs anyway, or 2.5. I actually provided backup vocals on one of the other songs that I didn't sing lead on. So, and it is an open mic, so I put myself on the list. I was there anyway, right? I actually got up a few times. I probably sang like, I don't know, 6 songs, 8 songs all together. So it was a pretty fun night, and I don't think I was there like a whole 2 hours, and I get to sing that much. So it's very untypical of open mics in the Hudson Valley. Typically there's such a big turnout that you go, you sign up, they give you 2 songs, and that's it. And then if you're lucky enough that the rotation goes through all the way before the slotted time is over, maybe you'll get to go up again if you're still around. Honestly, I'm not a fan of open mics in this area. It's very different than it was when I was going to college. It feels different. It tends to be kind of cliquey. I mean, there's a few exceptions. There's a couple of places where it's not as bad. And then the few places that aren't, you show up at like 7 o'clock and sometimes you don't get your turn until like 11 o'clock at night. It's a little ridiculous. That started a week. That's not even the weekend one. So this one it was nice because it was just starting off. So there wasn't a ton of musicians there, although more than a handful. Of course, there were some people there just enjoying the show and non-musicians. And I felt like I did my friend a good favor, showing support at open mic. It was fun, good atmosphere, you know, no real egos. It's always fun to see, I got to see a few people there that I know besides my friend Billy, the drummer. Actually, the rhythm guitar player in my band, Dr. Shadow, Malin, he was there. Actually, I jammed with him too while I was there, so that was cool. And ran into some other people that I know from the circuit, both musician circles and karaoke. So there you go. So it's a small world. I was surprised to learn some people knew some other people that I know and didn't know that we were coexisting. That's pretty cool. So the main purpose of this video anyway was to show you what ways I prepare for a situation like this. Hopefully you found it informative, or at the very least you found it fun because I was making the video, hopefully. I'm not trying to pull one of these, but I like to think that if you've watched this far into the show, it's because you like it, right? Hopefully. If you don't, thanks for watching anyway. Keep watching. I'm sure that the show will continue to get better as I go. I feel like it is. Thanks again for watching Star Rock. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and stalk. I'm really tired. You have a good night. I know I will. Laters.